Did you know you can make your own nut butter without the hidden sugars, oils, and preservatives in just minutes? Almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter. Let's go ahead and get into the simple process, and then I'll give you a few tips. If your nuts are already roasted, it's as simple as throwing them into a really good blender or food processor, and they are done in minutes. That's it. Add salt if you want, and try your best to look for nuts that are roasted with nothing. They don't need any unhealthy oils. It should just say roasted peanuts or whatever nuts on the package. That's some creamy peanut butter right there. I like to use about 4 cups or a quart of nuts, which makes about a pint or 16 ounces of nut butter. And that's it. Okay, but just like anything, there's more to it than that. So let me give you some tips. Number 1, if you buy nuts that have not been roasted, I highly recommend you roast them. Roasting will enhance the flavor of your nut butter, and it will also help these little nuts release more oil, so they're gonna be a lot easier to blend. You can roast in a nice little sheet pan like this in the oven for about 20 minutes, or you can do it via stovetop. No oil needed. I prefer roasting in the oven. It's easier. If you've tried unroasted almond butter, not that great. Roasted, pretty great. This spatula right here, game changer. Make sure your sister-in-law is awesome like mine and get you one for Christmas. No nut butter left behind. Number 2, make sure your nuts cool off completely before blending. You don't want piping hot nuts in a plastic blender. Number 3, make sure you use enough nuts for the size of your blending container. Otherwise, everything's just gonna stick to the sides and you're not gonna get nut butter. Number 4, use your best blending equipment. I have a VITAMIX and that thing is a beast, but it's very expensive. I understand if you don't wanna fork out the money on this thing, but if you use it all the time, like I do, it's worth it. If you don't have a powerful blender or food processor, that's where this process goes from minutes to like 15. So if that's the case, rest your motor, scrape down the sides, keep at it, you'll get nut butter eventually. Number 5, if you don't roast your nuts or the process just isn't moving along quickly enough, feel free to add a little bit of oil. Use a neutral flavored oil like avocado oil. Number 6, switch it up. If you don't want salty nut butter, feel free to add cinnamon, honey, maple syrup, cacao powder, vanilla, whatever you want. If you have nuts with a lot of skin like hazelnuts, after you've roasted them, once they've cooled, put them in a towel and get most of the skin off by rubbing them around. It's okay if you don't get all of it off. This will keep your nut butter from being bitter. And your homemade nut butter will store in the fridge for a good month in a nice glass container. Now you know how to make your own delicious nut butter in minutes, although it's gonna take you an hour to clean your blender. On that note, remember to eat real food. I'll see you next time.